group used Google to research the aspects of thriller. For example, we used Wikipedia. We learned that to create a successful thriller opening title sequence, it must create suspense and tension. We used YouTube to watch other opening title sequences. This gave us ideas to use in our own opening title sequence. For example, a shot from Arlington Road is very similar to one of our main scenes. This shot is where a boy is walking down the street with blood dripping onto the pavement. We also used the college VLE, which provided us with links to PowerPoints with useful research of a genre thriller. From this we learnt that the opening title sequence should keep the viewer guessing what has happened or what is going to happen. This also saved us time by providing us with information without us having to research all of it. The VLE also provided us to links with soundtracks to use in our opening title sequence. This site was called Infocomptech. This site was useful as the site provided an option of what kind of atmosphere we wanted, which made it easier to choose a sound which fitted our piece. We chose this atmosphere by ticking boxes with the feel we wanted.
During the post-production process of editing our piece, the only software we used was Adobe Premiere and Adobe Photoshop. Collectively, we all had little knowledge of these two pieces of software. Our raw footage gave us a brilliant platform to go on and produce the piece into a really convincing opening title sequence. Some of the techniques we used to do this are as following. One of our immediate changes to our piece in Premiere was colouring such as hue and saturation. To create the impression of flashbacks, we desaturated some clips so that they changed to black and white. Doing this created different dynamics resulting in time differences. To make the remaining colour clips stand out, we edited controls such as exposure, white balance and saturation to bring out the warm colours which originally looked quite dull. Colour correcting was important as it made our piece look far more professional once finished. As well as it making it easy for us to parallel edit clips, Premiere also made it easy for us to incorporate a range of transitions to complement each clip. To create an eerie opening, we used fades to introduce our title, but when our footage changed from clip to clip, we used flashes. This also gave the impression of flashbacks. Another key part in the editing process which gelled our sequence together was adding in our soundtrack. The track which we took from incompetech.com was written by Kevin Macleod and called Bent and Broken. The piece is a slow pace and exercises low-pitched sounds. The track is something you would normally hear from a horror, but when mixed with the thrilling clips, the track suits the thriller genre brilliantly as it uses thrilling noises in a minor key. Luckily, the track fitted excellently, and we worked around the timing of the track to try and accentuate the highlights, key parts of the track. To create production logos, we simply, as a group, decided on suitable names and then produced images and logos in Photoshop. We then imported the files into Premiere and used them as titles. On the whole, production logos are designed in quite a smart and minimalist way, so we made sure that we kept ours simple.
Was one of the most important things we had to check. This is because it would be a waste of time if we got to our filming location and set up the scene just to realise that the camera had no battery and we were unable to film. We checked this at college just to be safe. Other equipment we used with the camera was a tripod. We used this so our footage was as steady and professional looking as possible. This worked really well. It also meant we were able to experiment with complex camera shots. For example, we took a low-angle long shot of the trees in the sky, where the camera panned them, creating a spinning effect. This would not have been as effective as it was when using the tripod if we hadn't used one. When setting up the camera, we used manual mode. When used correctly, manual will give the best results. We set the camera to manual for both focus and exposure. We had to set up the focus manually and the white balance. We put a sheet of white paper in front of the camera, so setting up the white balance was easy as possible. When we felt the camera had got the best white colour picked up, we knew the white balance was correct. Exposure was also something we had to make sure was correct. If the exposure wasn't overexposing or underexposing our film, it could end up making the footage look too bright or too dark. We tried to incorporate as many shots as possible. We looked on the Varney and VLE and the opening title sequences from many thriller movies and watched them to get an idea of what shots were typically used in thriller movies. We noticed that establishing shots are used a lot and tried to use them in ours. We also noticed how when revealing a character, most thriller films don't reveal the whole person in one shot. They use lots of different extreme close-up shots of pieces of their body, face, etc. to create suspense and build tension. We did this in our opening title sequence. We filmed our main character's feet, then worked our way up his body to the last shot revealing his face.